Welcome to the semi-supine posture correction film. The actual lying down is very simple, but there is a little bit of preparation to do first. The first thing to know is how many books you have underneath your head. It is better to have this measured professionally by an Alexander teacher, but if you live a long way away from one or for some reason can't get to one, you can actually stand with your back against the wall and get someone to measure the distance between the wall and your head. This will give you a rough idea of actually how many you need. Generally, I found it's about 3 paperback books, which is the distance of your 3 fingers, or width of your 3 fingers. Okay, this will vary from person to person because some people's fingers are wider than others. If you're very tall, you may need a little bit more. If you're very short, you may need a little bit less. But the most important thing is when you're down and the books are underneath your head, that you're actually feeling comfortable, that your head isn't being pushed forward, nor is it tilting backwards. The reason for the books is because it pushes your head forward slightly, and therefore it can help to lengthen the spine when you're down there. So we'll start by talking about how to lie down on the floor. So there are many ways to get down the floor. This is just one that you may like to practice. You first of all put one foot back, and then you go down onto one knee. Then you come up into a kneeling position and you place your books either to the left or to the right, but not dead central, and you'll see why in a minute. So let's say I'll place them to the left of my head, and then I come onto all fours, and all I do is I push up with my toes and send my knees away from the books. I then put my arm through the other arm and I should go into a roll which places my head on the books. You may just have to adjust slightly when you're down. There are many ways of putting the hands. One is the traditional way, which is putting the hands either side of the tummy button. And this can help to broaden the shoulders. But sometimes during the course of the lying down, you may want to put one arm down, which helps to lengthen the arm, or you may like to put the other arm down as well. And that's a different effect because it helps to lengthen the arm. If your shoulders are particularly rounded, you can do this little exercise, but you do one arm at a time, and you place the fingers towards the ceiling, and then you just let the hand fall back. Don't force anything. It doesn't matter how far the hand goes back. But what actually happens when you get to a certain point is that there's a little stretch in the pectoral muscle or down the arm, and then you don't go any further. You let the stretch ease out. And that can actually help with shoulders which are rounded. And then you spend a minute or two, it may go back a little bit more, but when you feel it won't go back anymore without forcing, you put the other hand back and then you try the other hand. Again, it's just letting the arm fall back. And then put the other hand back here. The legs are important. You put your feet as near to the pelvis as you can without it feeling uncomfortable. So I don't mean pushing your legs right here, because then all that happens is you tense up the back and pelvis. So the legs make a triangle. So the feet and the pelvis and the knees make a equilateral triangle. And you lie there and you just think of your knees pointing to the ceiling. And all the time you're allowing the weight of your body to sink down onto the ground. There really is nothing to do. The spine in 10 or 15 minutes will be lengthening, so you will feel that you're getting up and being taller. While you're lying there, you can think of the shoulders widening, you can think of the back lengthening, you can think of each vertebrae moving away from the other vertebrae, so the intervertebral disc is filling up with fluid. You can think of the elbows pointing away from each other, or the left shoulder moving away from the right hip, and the right shoulder moving away from the left hip. Or you can just lie there and just become aware of your breathing without changing anything at all. After about 15 minutes you may feel like you want to get up. The first thing you do is you look towards the way that you're moving. So let's say I decide to get up to my left. The first thing I do is I look with my eyes and then let the head roll to the left. I then let the legs fall to the left. That will take me into a roll, which should take me into coming back onto all fours. I then remember to put my books up. I come into a kneeling position. I place one foot forward, and then all I do is I lean forward and I come up into standing, which means to say that when I've completed the semi-supine, I get up quite evenly and slowly, so I'm maintaining the relaxation of the muscles as I go into my activity. So enjoy your lying down once a day for 15 to 20 minutes is ideal, and you will soon feel that your posture will improve.
For more information about posture correction, please visit posturecorrectionblog.com.